Hey there, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk. And today we are honored to have another guest speaker. We have Lashaun Goss. And I have gotten to know Lashaun. She was on our AppMod Council and she was our technology chair. And you are just a wealth of knowledge and information, and you bring a vibe and experience I appreciate so much, and a sense of calm and education as well as comfort, which all of those character traits are so important for the discussion that we're having today. At one of our CREAG APCO conferences during the program managers workshop, you had given a presentation that was directly surrounding the LGBTQ plus community, as well as educating and understanding and learning about gender pronouns and gender identity, and it was by far one of the most, if not the most influential and powerful talks that I think I've been a part of, and we wanted to bring some of that today. So welcome, Lashaun.
Thank you, Julie, for the amazing introduction. Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. I'm originally from Chicago. I was raised in Arizona and I work at the University of Arizona supporting the MIGS or complex benign gynecology and maternal fetal medicine fellowships at their university.
We're just talking before we hit record that this is a perfectly timed discussion as we are in Pride Month. And it is the importance in recognizing and creating an intentional space to have these conversations and coming from a place of learning and understanding and acceptance, right? So,
Yep.
tell us a little bit about what are the things that we need to be mindful of that you might want to know as we have trainees, and that we're matching with not only our trainees, our teams, ourselves. Educate us and tell us a little bit of what are the things that we should know and questions to ask.
My first point of advice would be to educate yourself with the vocabulary a little bit, like the LGBTQ. I know it's plus, but just knowing the terms. And then if you are to come across a learner, coworker, I would just ask their pronouns if you're not sure. Because I feel like if you ask first, then you kind of give yourself an opportunity to learn in that moment, and then that person can express himself back to you. So asking for pronouns, kinda getting educated with the alphabet, and then as a administrator, it's important for us to just we're already the grounded person for the department, so you just wanna be that safe space for the learners. So what I've found is, when you are building those connections with your residents or fellows, trying to get to know them, and then maybe they might have a partner or something like that. So as the administrator, you wanna be of support. If you don't know, ask, because asking questions really is more helpful and it helps the community even more because we're spreading that knowledge. And I feel like as a person in the community and an ally as well, our other branches, because I feel like, I hold the L in the LGBTQ because we got other departments. As an ally to the other departments, I also educate myself as well. I have a non binary friend that I'm learning a lot of things with, and I'm having to correct myself with the pronouns, they, them. I'm used to saying she, her along those lines. So yeah, like even in the community, you can also educate yourself as well.
That's a great point, and I think that's something that I've learned even as my children have taught me, coming from a space of curiosity and wanting to learn while not putting the responsibility on the other person to teach you, right? Like, of
Mhm,
coming from the space of, I am an ally and I'm coming because I want to understand,
mhm.
but not putting the pressure and the responsibility on the other person. That has probably been the biggest lesson that I've learned.
Yeah, I totally agree because I feel like if we're taking the accountability there, like, okay, I'm gonna learn some things and then ask questions to follow up instead of just, like you said, leaning straight on the other person. Because I feel like when this day and age, we have ChatGPT, we have so many things now to go to, but then it's also good to talk to an ally or somebody in the community. But yeah, as the generation that we probably have and the resident fellow is, I think, probably a little bit what, like Gen X or is it Gen Z? I can't remember. But is it Gen X?
I think
I
it's
don't
Gen Z.
I think it's Gen Z. Yeah, yeah. I can't remember because I'm a millennial, guys. I'm on the cusp. Gen Z, they're really more educated. They're well aware. All our other generations, I feel like this is our education time where we can learn from the people below us because I think it's helpful because I learned so much stuff about the community and I'm in the community because there's just so many. It's so much information, but I feel like if you just spoon feed it to yourself and then use your resources in the internet and speaking to a person too to confirm because you can't believe everything on the internet. But I feel like if you have a ally or a family member or something just to help get you started, it'll really help your resident or fellow to kind of connect with you, build that relationship while they're with you guys.
And I think also coming from a place of good intention, and correct me if I'm wrong, but coming from a place of good intention, especially as we're talking about gender pronouns, of is saying she, her, hers instead of they, them, and then you catch yourself and saying, I'm so sorry,
Mhm.
they, them is okay as
Yes.
long as you're coming from a place of growth and education,
Yes.
that it's better to say, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that, they, them, and
Mhm.
using the appropriate gender pronouns is better than overthinking and getting to your place of stuck or just avoiding it, because you're showing that you care and you're showing that you see them and you recognize them, and that visibility, and to exactly the word, and the important is that you're an ally. It shows that you care and you support them.
But yeah, no, I like how you said that, Julie, because I think we mentioned in our talk for the back in cam that year. If you mess up, just keep going. Apologize and keep going. It's already awkward. It's already embarrassing. So it's okay. Like it's okay. We're all learning. This is like our era in the world where we're learning. Came out obviously years ago, but I feel like we're evolving from that. Like we're not. It's not so hidden in the closet. I feel like we are out in the spoken Pride Month. I feel like it's just more inclusive and the generation is making sure of that. So I feel like yeah, exactly. I totally, echo what you're saying.
It's orientation onboarding time, right?
Yep.
You're either your residents are just starting right now,
Mhm.
or if you're a fellowship program, they're coming, you're gonna blink and they're going to be here.
And
So
recruitment.
you're right, and recruitment, because
Yes.
recruitment, they're not necessarily right in front of you, you don't know.
Mhm.
So, other than their application, and depending on what you see and
Yep.
depending on your level of involvement,
Mhm.
right? So as a program coordinator, manager, GME leader, how do you recommend that you approach that? You recognize you have that conversation both at the orientation and the recruitment space.
I feel like one of my fellows actually is a part of the community, and I think how I'll tell that story, and then I'll give a little bit of advice. So we went to like a welcome dinner for her, and
Mhm.
she brought her wife. And I was like, "Oh, wow, great." So we were just talking and everything. And then I think maybe like a month or two into her fellowship, I was just like, "Hey, so like, how did you meet your wife? Tell me your story." And that's how she opened up to me. So I feel like it's your approach. So let's say orientation day, maybe they have a little pin, maybe you can tell within their features, like you can just ask, or you can be like, "Hey, what are your pronouns?" Anything like that. Or sometimes in the person that's in the community, they might even approach themselves like, "Oh, hey, I'm they them." So then you can kind of like, okay, put that in the back of your mind. So when you have some time one on one, you can kind of just be like, "Oh, what part of the community are you in?" Just kind of just start that initial connection if they're open to it. Because I know I'm a chatterbox, so I can get people to talk, but sometimes people don't. If you don't want to get to know your fellows too personally or residents, that's a okay. But I think just knowing where they stand is a good start because I feel like they're going to be with you 3 to 4 years. So I feel like it's important just to kind of start a rapport. So when you do have pride events or anything of that sort, you can reach out to them and that can start a connection as well.
That's so true. So you say reach out to them.
Mhm.
That is also a great point. Is, let's say I'm more reserved because I
Mhm.
too, like you, I am a very open, strong ally.
Okay.
Eh, but let's say I'm still in my infancy of
Mhm.
learning and understanding, and regardless whether we're in our
Mhm.
infancy or we're not, as
Mhm.
you've said a few times, this is an evolution and this is the process as we learn about people. So, regardless, let's
Mhm.
say I'm not as comfortable just throwing it out there. What are some things that I can do to
Mhm.
maybe open the door and show, hey, I see you and I accept you,
Mhm.
without
All
maybe
the
feeling that comfort level of
Yeah.
starting a conversation quite yet right off the jump.
Yeah. I feel like if you're not comfortable just yet, I would just educate yourself with all the resources that we have. I would just educate yourself because it might be a point in time where you might be open-minded to maybe even ask a question or, start that initial connection or any type of way. So I think the more knowledge you know about it, I feel like the more it might yield you to kind of get a little bit closer to it because then you're like, oh, well, I'd have a question so I can ask her. So then you can, or them, however you want to, whoever they are. But yeah, I
Mhm.
think like once you're educating yourself, it kind of like, how when you're studying, you're like, okay, I can't wait for the test. Boom. So like, you can, read up on it, get all what you need, and then boom. When you muster up the courage to communicate with them, great. Or it might be vice versa. They might even come to you because maybe they just feel comfortable. Cause that can be a thing too, guys. Like a lot of people, they just need a safe space sometimes. And maybe they don't have that in their personal life. So they do come to you for that.
Yeah, 100%. And it's not only about recruitment, and it's not only about orientation, right?
Mhm,
You
mhm,
can introduce yourself
mhm,
and say, "Hey, I'm Julie. I'm your program manager. I go
mhm.
by she, her, hers.
Yep.
These are my pronouns. My husband's name is Matt. I have 2 children. This is to kind of open the door, right?" And
Mhm,
maybe I might say, "Hey, can you tell me what is the correct is it Lashaun? Is that the correct way to say your name? What
mhm,
are your
mhm.
gender pronouns?" You can
Yeah,
open the
mhm.
door, but
Yep.
it's so much more than onboarding and recruitment and that initial hello. It
Yeah.
is about creating a culture of safety and psychological safety and
Oh,
relationship building. Because, like you had said, it's 3, 4 years that they're going to be with you. It is more than just saying the hello.
mhm,
So, do you have relationship building advice,
mhm,
professionalism advice, or things to just create that environment as a program manager and a program administrator? Because that culture of a warm, safe space is so important in our
mhm,
roles.
mhm. My professional advice is to just be opening to listen, just have an open mind because I feel like, once you open that door and establish that, you don't know what's gonna come from them. So it's like you just kinda wanna keep an open mind because I know we're still like we said, we're still evolving. So I think just keeping an open mind when you are communicating with them, if they're coming to you or anything like that. And also, I would also say just if you're there for them, I think that's just it. Like, I think that's what I need because I feel like from my personal experience, I just want somebody to be there. As PAs, we are always ready to go because, we got to put out fires every day. When you're ready to pivot into maybe they have a situation going on or anything like that, I think just being ready and to your best of ability, keep an open mind and then keep educating yourself. And then I will also say your approach is important too, because like you said, orientation, recruitment, or anything like that, or any little thing that you might see. Because sometimes we're reading books watching shows or anything like that. And that can be initial start conversation starter. I'm a big football fan. So I have some of my fellows and the residents, we do that. And I'm also a sneakerhead. So one of the residents in our OBGYN program, we're always talking about like shoes and stuff. So I think you don't even have to start in the rainbow. You can start anywhere else because you might something about them that might, they might have kids. Like you just never know. Keep it fluid in a way where you're just like, oh yeah, let's just go with the flow. Be like, all right, cool. And then keeping that mentality is really helpful. For them and you, because then you don't feel so much pressure and anxiety. Because you could be like, oh, I gotta come up with something to say. Like, no, just chill. Like, if they come up to you, y'all start chit chatting or whatever, and there you go.
Come from a
Yes.
place of curiosity and understanding without overthinking it. Because if you overthink
Hmm.
it, you're gonna make it weird. And
Yes.
making it weird,
Yeah.
whether it is someone who's LGBTQ plus,
Hmm.
whether it's a person of color, whether
Hmm.
you're talking to a unicorn, whether you're talking to a child, a teenager, if you make it weird, it ends there. It's about visibility as humans at their core and just creating a space that you care about their heart and you care about
Hmm.
who they are. You care about them as a whole person.
Exactly. That's just
That's
an
really
addition
what
to
you're
them. They're
doing.
just extra cool. That's what I think. I'm just extra cool because I'm like, hey, because
Listen,
just you
you
can't. I'm
are
a
the
woman.
coolest person I know. And I mean that legitimately.
That's why I love you, Julie. Yeah, I appreciate you. I do. I love making people laugh, and I just like being myself and being goofy. Like, we have to be serious all day, y'all. So it's like when I clock out, I clock out. So it's
Yeah.
like I try my best to have that nice, it's not balanced, but like a nice harmony of everything. I want a little bit of everything. So yeah, it's important to, like you said, like connecting with the point that we're talking about. It's important just to kind of go with the flow. So you don't want to make stuff weird.
And that's the core of it. You're looking at the whole big
Hmm.
picture of who someone is
Yep.
and hyper focusing on the details is not even the right word, right? Here's an
Yeah.
example of what we're
The
saying, right?
semantics. Uh-huh.
But
Oh my.
hyper focusing on, I want to learn and understand
Mhm.
about who you are as a part of the LGBTQ plus community or who you are and what your gender pronouns are, that is coming from a place of intrinsic motivation, making it about me, not making it about you, right? Where
Mhm.
if I just want to learn who LaShawn is, as in
Mhm.
who LaShawn is, all of the other stuff is gravy, right?
Yeah, exactly. It just melts them together. Like that's literally is. It's like, a cake. We got layers, but it's just like you want to eat the whole cake. You don't want to take just the top off. I do that sometimes, but you know what I mean.
So we had talked in the beginning about coming from a place of curiosity and wanting to learn while not really putting the ownership and the pressure of the responsibility on the person, right?
Mhm.
I think it's important that we create a space and we talk about minority stress and what that feels like, recognizing myself as a white
Mhm.
heterosexual woman, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And having that conversation because I think creating space, putting that pressure and what that feels like for someone who is a person of color, for someone
Mm.
who is a minority,
Mhm.
what that weight can feel like if you, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally, if you come from a space of ignorance and not wanting to understand, because that pressure can be real and heavy.
Yeah. So, like, a little bit of story time on me. When I initially got this job, I was still dealing with my identity in that way, how I wanted to present myself, all of that. My badge picture, my first badge picture, I have a badge picture where I'm in a dress. And then now, like, I have my professional photo with my suit on. I had to deal with that within myself first. And then I brought it to the workplace. So then it's like once I felt comfortable, got confident in myself, then it was like it was up from there. You can't tell me nothing. But yeah, being black, masculine presenting and a woman, yeah, it's fun.
Right?
It's a lot of fun.
Right?
Yeah, I know, right? It is because it's just like, you have so many factors. I don't just have women, saying stuff about me. I have people in my race, like, because not everybody's comfortable with, being their authentic self. I'm not even gonna say this clothes don't really matter. You can wear whatever you want, but how you present yourself. And then also being a lesbian. Initially, it was hard for me. And then I think once I got that confidence, then that's when I really became an ally within my own community. I was able to just be that resource. And I think in my presentation, we talked about equality versus equity. And basically, equality means, treating everyone the same, no matter their needs or their differences. It's about giving everyone the same thing. But equity, on the other hand, is more about making sure everyone has what they need to succeed. Bringing that point in is just important for us to see how equity can really boost up everybody. Because we know equality, we try to do, oh yeah, we're all equal. Yeah, okay. Let's
Right?
just keep it real. Like, that's literally what they try to say. But no, I feel like with equity, it kind of helps. And you gotta get that leg up and stuff. And then it can be hard for the people in the community trying to apply it certain places. Because if you think about it, certain states and programs, they don't look like who they're applying for. So you have to like take that into consideration too. I'm very grateful my program in the recent years have been very diverse and inclusive, and it's been very helpful because you when you are a person that looks like me looking for somewhere else, you kind of want to find somebody that looks like you, at least one person, especially if you're doing like a 2 to 4 year residency or fellowship. So I think it's just important to just, recognize the elephant in the room, and then as a program, just trying to be a nice support system. And then also taking a look taking a look at themselves to see like, okay, how can we better present ourselves in this space.
That is a very powerful point that I feel like you make as well, that again, you're always learning, and you can be an ally as much as you want to be an ally, and you can support, but it really is about the journey within yourself and
Mhm,
unlocking that
mhm.
safety and that power and that own process of getting to your own place of comfort and identity before you get to a place of safety and comfort with others.
Yeah, it's a journey, and
That's
you can do it
powerful,
together. Mhm. You
you
can do
know?
it together. Mhm,
And so my supervisor, who is still one of my very dear friends, he now is in his 70s,
mhm,
and he's gay, and he's
mhm.
now married, but I can remember him telling me of what it was like in his generation and coming to that place, and he said, being a minority in my generation, he said, "I can remember sitting around the table at holidays or family dinners, and everyone looked like me, but nobody was like me, and
Yeah.
that took me a lot of years to get to a space to feel
Mhm,
comfortable within my own family and within my own home."
mhm.
And he was like, "And I was very privileged to have an accepting family," and my mom
Yeah,
was like, "Thank you for finally saying it," right?
I know,
Like,
right?
you
Because mom
know?
always
But
knows, mom always knows.
right? But that was kind of a pearl that educated me, and that made me look from a space of like, "Whoa, that's something that I take for granted,"
Mhm,
within my family dinner table or something like that, that he made my perspective a little bit different, opened my eyes a little bit more.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, I totally get that. My family, they're coming around. They're coming around, I'll give them that. They're coming around, because I'm just like, I'm out with it. Like, yeah, I don't, I'm done, holding myself back for somebody else's validation or to walk on eggshells because I'm on their approval. And then sometimes at work too, like, I think I felt that way too, but I felt like work was so open arms because, the workplace was a little bit more like, a little bit more open because we had, other people in the community in the department. So I felt like, okay, that kind of helped skyrocketed me too, because it's like, okay, work don't care. I'm just worried about my family. So I think, like you said, it takes time though. It's not an overnight thing for sure.
The legacy and the generations, as we talk about Pride Month and we talk about
Mhm,
all of the visibility is, right? The generations before us that recognized and paved the way, and
mhm,
for us to continue that movement and continue honoring that and doing that is so important.
mhm. So important. Yeah. Because we gotta keep going. We can't give up. We gotta keep going. We gotta keep going. We gotta keep evolving, keep learning, all that. It's really important. And then with Pride Month, I'm gonna see like at my institution, just a little advice to everybody else. I'm pretty sure most a lot of people's institutions probably do something for Pride Month at the hospital or at the university. It's just good to kind of just, sit it out. You don't have to send it to that one person. You don't have to single nobody out, but because we have a lot of allies more than you know. So,
Yeah.
to send out to your residents and fellows. And yeah, and then maybe you can probably do something within your department too, because I know sometimes people want to be even more inclusive. And I think that's a great thing too, because you even feel more of a community at work.
Yeah. And in being mindful that, like you had said, equity is not equal to equality. Equality is not equal to equity. And
Yeah.
knowing the difference between those two is foundationally start
Mhm.
there.
Yeah, exactly. Like we can, yeah, support. That's easy.
Yeah.
They don't take no money. They don't take anything. You just support each other in whichever way that you can. Your wherever you can give. Because I know everybody, can't probably do as much as the other one. But I feel like if you're able to support something, I think that's just it's a goes a long way.
Well, thank you so much for this talk, and I appreciate you. Like I said, I if anybody out there gets a chance to see your presentation, if you give your presentation again, hint hint,
Got
Um,
it right. Threw that in there.
it really was such a good presentation. It was something that really did have the entire room paying attention, and I'm very thankful to have you join us. I would love to have you join us again in the future to talk about even
Yes.
more things. I know we talked about fellowship versus residency, all
Yeah.
kinds of different things and what that looks like. But I appreciate you joining us in this conversation and creating a space to ask questions and answer and learn and understand one another.
Yes. Thank you for having me. I missed you, Daphne. Until next time. But yes, thank you so
Yes,
much.
you all so much. Bye.
Bye.